The New Testament reinforces this idea by pointing to Jesus Christ as the visible image of the invisible God. As Colossians 1 verse 15 states, "He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation." This statement bridges the gap between the visible and the invisible, the known and the unknowable. The question of whether there is a difference between God's appearance in heaven and on earth is deeply rooted in the complexities of interpreting biblical scripture. In the biblical narrative, the instances in which God manifests His presence differ greatly depending on the context and purpose of the appearance. On earth, God's presence often comes veiled in a way that can be understood by the human mind, while in heaven, Scripture paints a more transcendent and glorified view of God. Consider Exodus 33 verse 20, where God tells Moses, "And the Lord said, Thou canst not see my face, for no man shall see me and live." This statement underscores the inherent limitation of human beings in perceiving God in His full and unveiled glory. Such appearances on earth, encapsulated in physical forms or manifestations like the burning bush in Exodus 3 verse 2, or the pillar of cloud and fire in Exodus 13 verse 21 to 22, serve to interact and guide while retaining an aspect of divine concealment. In stark contrast, the heavenly vision of God described in Revelation 4 verse 2 to 3 presents a description of overwhelming majesty and splendor, where the throne of God is surrounded by living images of precious stones, lightning, and a crystal-clear sea. It is written, "And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he that sat had the appearance of a jasper and a sardius stone. And there was a rainbow around the throne like an emerald." Similarly, Ezekiel 1 verse 26 to 28 provides another heavenly vision with symbolic language, describing a figure who had the appearance of a man, surrounded by fire and brilliant light, signifying divine brightness and glory. References such as 1 John 3 verse 2 states, "Beloved, now are we the children of God, and it has not yet appeared what we shall be. But we know that when He appears we shall be like Him, for we shall see Him as He is." This future promise points to a time in the future when believers will experience the direct and unveiled vision of God's full glory, a stark contrast to the mediated and veiled interactions on earth. The difference between God's appearance in heaven and on earth is not in His essence, but in the manner of His revelation. On earth, His manifestations are adapted to human limitations, often symbolic and veiled, while in heaven His appearance is a direct revelation of His limitless glory and majesty. Throughout history, Bible teachers have struggled with the concept of God's appearance, emphasizing that any attempt to visualize the divine must inherently run up against the limitations of language and human understanding.